Good morning, my dear students. Today I am going to explain the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, written by Anne Rich. Anne Rich is one of the greatest poetess of 20th century. She is from USA and she is widely known for her involvement in contemporary women's movement as a poet and a theorist. What is a women's movement? This is the feministic approach. What is feminism? A kind of movement that demands the equality of women to that of men in every field, in political field, in commercial field, in of the rights of vote, same wages, same sort of opportunity. Means feminism demands the equality of women to that with that of men. So that was the feminist movement, and Henry Rich is one of the writers. He supports and also demands this one to the male dominating society. Just like in West country we have patriarchal system. Now it is now abolished under the spell of education, and the people are now getting aware of the importance of equality and harmony for the smooth functioning and development of country. So now it is no longer existed. Still some part of the land in this globe are practiced like white patriarchy. What is white patriarchy? The white people think that they are superior to that of the black. So you have read in history in class 9th and 10th, apartheid movement, racial discrimination in South Africa and in West countries, Europe and USA and South Africa. Similarly, in this poem, Andrew Rich is talking about the male patriarchy. What is male patriarchy? Male think that they are superior to that of women. So she has highlighted their patriarchy, their supremacy, in almost all of her works. And this poem on Jennifer's Tiger is one of them. So we will see what is the condition of Ant, what she is talking about, and how she is requesting the society to give her freedom, equality, and equal opportunity to live in this world that is created by God. So we'll see. Before that, the information about the poetess, the that she has published 19 volumes of poetry, 3 collections of essays, and other writings. A strong resistance to racism and militarism echoes through her works. So these are the subject matters upon which she pens down, she writes down, she jots down, her feelings, her emotions, her ideologies. The poem Aunt Jennifer's Tiger addresses the constraints of married life a woman experiences. And this poem is the theme of this poem, the moral of this poem, the subject matter of this poem is about the condition of a woman, after their marriedhood. What happens with them, how they suffer, and how they are just molested, tortured, humiliated, under the wedding band, symbol of marriedhood. So we will see. Before that, we need to just uh, see the title of the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. The word aunt you are familiar with, the brother of your father, okay, the sister of your father is known as aunt, or the wife of your uncle is known as aunt. So aunt is a very senior personality, okay, middle-aged women we can say that, but the narrator has made it complete clear that aunt here refers to a married lady. So who is calling aunt in this poem? The gender is although not clear, but the narrator herself is a female. So it appears that a girl, the age is not defined at what age, she is very much unhappy with the condition of her aunt, and that's why she is lamenting, she is regretting, she is shedding her tears and not happy with the lifestyle of aunt. So this whole poem is through the perspectives of, through the views of, okay, a small child who might be 12 or 15 years of age, and she has very minutely observed the lifestyles, okay, and terms and condition set for her aunt, okay, who was recently married or who is married, okay, for a long time and suffering. So we see, okay, this is aunt. Aunt refers to a relation that is generally the sister of your mother and father, or the wife of your uncle. Generally, this is known as aunt. Then we have tigers. The word tiger is symbolic of bravery, freedom, fearlessness. So this shows that she is Aunt Jennifer's tiger will come to know that who are the tigers that belongs to aunt. Is it real one or the fiction one or some images he is creating? So we'll come to know, okay, in the first stanza of this poem, that who are the tigers and where are they, and why the narrator is calling they are the Aunt Jennifer's tiger. So tigers is very much symbolic here, and tiger is symbolic of bravery, fearlessness, courage, boldness, you know, and freedom. Perhaps she is missing all these things in her life, and that's why she is creating a kind of image of a tiger. She is not creating the image of elephant, dog, cat, or any other animal, but tiger. So it shows that the quality a tiger possesses, she is completely missing in her life. And she wanted to have all those qualities in her life. At least she wants freedom. At least she wants boldness. At least she wants, fearlessness. At least she wants courage, confidence to speak about her mind. So this is the explanation, okay, about the poem. So we have the explanation of first stanza of this poem. Here see the condition, that is the wish. We have three stanza, and all three stanzas is discussing about the condition of, wish of, desire of the narrator herself. So first stanza is actually discussing about the condition or the wish of the narrator. What is the wish? What is the longing? What is the desire? Okay, that has been suppressed in her life, and that she wanted to carve it on the screen, on the curtain, or in a form of painting. So actually she is painting the images of tigers, and that tigers belongs to her according to the narrator, who is supposed to be a girl might be at the age of 12 to 15. So it was a kind of painting, it was a kind of image woven by the needle, okay, and threads or pebbles or stones. So let's see how the condition of the or the wish of the longing of the poet has been described by a young girl, okay, who does not want to live similar life, okay, same life her aunt is forced to live, okay, in this male dominant society, male patriarchy, and women submissiveness, compromise. She does not want to compromise, okay, in her life, and that's why she voices against this terms and condition, okay, of the marriedhood. She was against of male patriarchy, okay, and female submissiveness, okay, towards male. So see the lines. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen. This is the first sentence. The narrator says that actually the aunt, means the aunt of the narrator, she is painting or withdrawing some images of tigers. We'll see how she is making the tigers with the help of pebbles or bright topaz or shining stones, okay, or of the faded colors or the color of the fur of the tiger. So here, the narrator is telling that Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance. Prance is actually a jumping stage, okay, a kind of movement that has been shown on the screen, on the curtain, on which she is making or withdrawing or painting the image of the tigers. Means the tigers are prancing. What does it mean? Means she is unable to prance. She is unable to jump. What is that here jumping refers to? Means she is unable to move anywhere according to her wish, according to her desire. Means she has been clutched, okay, in the household duties, and she was not supposed to come out of the household duties whenever she wished. But this was her wish. She wanted to prance like her tigers. So in a form of her longing, in her wish, the wish is actually portrayed in the form of the painting. Tigers prance across a screen. So across is a adverb also, okay, and preposition also. So across refers to from this side to that side, from this bank to that bank of road, okay, or the path. So this shows that they are prancing, jumping, moving, walking, running, okay, limitlessly. There's no limit, okay. It was not a small movement, okay, or very chained movement. It is a free movement and free walk and free jumping. And these all things she is missing in her life. Means she does not have opportunity, she does not have chances, she does not have freedom, she does not have equality and opportunity to have walk, run, move out of her place, out of her house, out of her society where she is living. It shows that she is frightened, she is fearful, she is suppressed, and she is totally threatened, and that's why she was unable to move out, okay, she was unable to prance, she was unable to jump, she was unable to move, she was unable to run according to her wish. See the second line. Bright topaz, denizens of a world of green. Who is bright topaz? The image she is creating, the image she is making, the painting she is withdrawing, the painting she is drawing is actually is of bright topaz, bright shining colors. Okay, so it shows that there is no shining, no luster, no confidence in her personality. So that's why she has picked up bright topaz. Topaz is a kind of, a kind of costly stones. Okay, shining stones similar to the color of, faded sky or like that. Uh, Not faded sky. I mean very light sky color. So that is the color of topaz, a kind of a stone, similar color of the sky color. Denizens. Denizens means they are the dwellers. They are the habitant. These residents. Okay, denizens means the living place of a world of green. Who are the living in the world of green? Here, green is also refers to nature. You know, and nature is symbolic of vastness, opportunity, freedom, happiness, growth, you know, and all sort of opportunity and freedom. But she does not have anything like that. But her tigers have. Her tigers have that she has, uh, made, painted on the screen, on the curtain. Denizens with the dwellers, okay, habitant of a world of green. And who are the living in the world of green? The tigers are living in the world of green, okay. The freedom and the limitlessness, okay. Everything means nature is also symbolic of prosperity, fertility, you know, symbol of also, just like the green light is symbol of, hope. Hope is also there, and green is also symbol of, something victorious, something unexpected good things. But she does not have anything in her life. And green also refers to movement, okay, unstoppable movement. So many meanings are there of the green. But here green is symbol of the nature, and nature is symbolic of limitlessness, okay, and opportunity and facility. But these all things are not there in the life of the ant. So ant is living in a very limited state and limited place. But the tiger she is drawing picture, they are living in the world of green. Okay, so this shows that she is longing for all these things in her life. She wanted to have them, okay, in her own life. But let's see, is she able to get all these things? Line number third. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They refers to the tigers. They is also here personified. They is actually coming for the living things, but here they actually refers to the tigers. And here tigers are not the authentic tigers. They are the tiger. These are the images of tigers. Okay, that she is drawing or she is making with the help of a small bright topaz. That is embroidery is there. Okay, in this world there is a embroidery. In the world of women, they just draw paintings, make some kind of images with the help of, a small stones. So that she is doing, okay, embroidery work she is doing with needles. And she is making the image of, the portrayal of the painting of the tiger. So the third line says that they do not fear, means the tigers who are on the screen, who are depicted on the screen, they have been depicted in a way that shows that they are not frightened. They are very much casual, okay. They do not fear the presence of the men. Fear the men beneath the tree. It means there is a tree, okay, on the screen. Men are sitting under the tree and the tigers are prancing, unaffected, okay, unafraid. This shows that men are the subject of fright, subject of fear, subject of torment, subject of a speed breaker. So these all things has been, done with the in the life of the narrator's aunt. And that's why she is telling that tigers are not frightened. It means that she is frightened at the presence of the men. So here the theme is coming from of the poem that this is the male dominant society, male patriarchy, male supremacy, where the women's don't have opportunity, freedom, okay, and everything they wanted to have. So here men has been, explained in a form of, a subject of fear and fright. Means if the men are there and if a woman is just trying to prance, move and run and do of his wish and will, they will be terrorized, they will be beaten, they will be threatened, okay, by the men. So this was the observation, okay, ideology of this girl, okay, who is very much concerned about the life of her aunt. And she is telling that men are actually an object of fright, an object of terror, an object of threat. And whom they will threat, whom they will terrorize, whom they will punish, whom they will humiliate, whom they will torture. This is the weakest section of the society, and that is women. Okay, the married women. This is the explanation. Now the next line, they pace in sleek chivalric certainty. And see the condition of the tigers. They once again refers to the tigers, the painting of the tigers, the images of the tigers. They pace means pace is a kind of movement, a kind of walk, unstoppable movement, a kind of rhythm. Pace is also symbolic of also, very speed, a continuous speed. So here pace is also refers to unstoppable movement. Pace in sleek. Sleek is also refers to very smooth, unstoppable, no hurdles. Okay, in the way. Means when the tigers are prancing on the screen, they don't have any kind of hurdle, any kind of speed breaker, any threatening one. No one is there to threaten them. No one is going to just warn them, terrorize them. So they are sleek, and chivalric means refers to they are totally unafraid. Okay, they are not afraid of anyone. Here, chivalric is those who have read history, they are familiar with chivalric was the movement. Okay, in medieval age. So the men who just show their might and power, fighting with animals. So bullfighting is also an example of chivalric. So symbolic is simply an image of might and power, energy and strength. So they pace in sleek, chivalric means they are very mighty, they are very much powerful, and they are not afraid of anyone. A man, I think it is a chivalric movement is also there in Spain. They have a kind of tradition and custom in which a human being fights with a bull. Bull and human beings fight. That is an example of chivalrics. So we have recently a movie that is Bahubali, and in that movie, a human being, okay, is fighting with a bull. So that human being actually wanted to show that he is more mightier than, okay, stronger than the bull. Bull is also symbol of very endless energy, might, and strength. So that is chivalric. So similarly, chivalric is there in the prancing or the moving uh, position of the tigers. Means they are very boldly, they are very courageously, they are very confidently, okay, moving. Certainty, that is certainty, means there is no stoppage, there is no speed breakers. Means the means the image of the tigers that she has drawn on the screen, that they are just moving in a very um, continuous speed, unstoppable speed, uh, without any kind of a speed breaker, without any kind of terror, without any kind of threat. There is no one to just terrorize them, and they are also appears to be very mighty, very brave, and very strong. This shows that the narrator is missing all these things, okay, in her life, in her personality. So indirectly, the narrator is highlighted that women should, be very much brave, very much bold, very much courageous, not mentally but also physically. So chivalric is a kind of physical strength, okay, that women should possess. The tigers, just as the tigers have. So